Hello and welcome to SortaOkay Reviews, where every fandom's welcome. I'm Nathan Bedard.
I'm Brad Newton.
And today we are doing our early review of Shazam.
Yeah, Fandango had an early access thing that you noticed. You got tickets for us, so we got there about two weeks early. It is now.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers really had confidence in this movie. Now, like, stepping back a little bit, Aquaman did phenomenal, so they were probably like, okay, that movie did great. We feel a little confidence movie. Let's give it out. And more theaters are starting to do, or more studios are starting to let some of these early screenings go to get more people to go to the movies and the theater.
They did one for Bumblebee. They did Aquaman a week early. We didn't see that one, but they're starting to do more and more early access stuff. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the film. This is a non-spoiler review, so because it's a bit early and most people probably haven't seen it yet. So, what are your thoughts on the movie?
Well, so this movie, I mean, one, it's not a character that's well known. I mean, some people know, like, oh yeah, Shazam. He's like kind of like the other Superman guy.
And to me, I'm like, wasn't he called Captain Marvel at some point? That's a whole nother story.
A lot of people are like, oh, he's the real Captain Marvel, that kind of thing. And, a lot of people were skeptical of this movie, especially when they saw the first images and everything. They were like, this looks kind of cheesy, this looks weird. And then Zachary Levi got casted as Shazam. And, he's a great dude, funny dude. He didn't really have the stature like some of the other guys, though. Like, he's not really big.
That suit, I heard, cost like $100,000 or something like that.
Yeah, so, and, they had to, beef him up a little bit, stuff like that. But, so after watching it, I didn't go in with the highest expectations, but leaving it, I can say it definitely impressed me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I went in today, I was like, oh yeah, we're seeing Shazam today. I was like, my hype level just really wasn't there, honestly, going into it. It was like, cool, we're going to go see this movie early, but I was like, it was nowhere on the level of what Infinity War is, or even, I think I had higher expectations for Captain Marvel. But
yeah, and I think this movie could have definitely did worse. It could have been really over the top and cheesy. It could have been bad, especially when they said it's like Big meets a superhero.
Yeah. And
I'm like, okay. And I'll say one, and you'll hear this from a lot of reviews, this movie has heart. The interaction between Billy, the other foster kids, and just the other characters in general, it feels so down to earth and heartfelt, and you really get invested in these characters.
Yeah,
and you feel for them.
It kind of had an old classic 80s a Goonies vibe, even kind of between the foster kids. There was these kids, especially towards the end, they were going on this adventure thing. So it gave that sort of feel to me. But let's go into what our positives are.
Before we actually do that, a pretty much a quick summary of the movie is pretty much Billy Batson, who is a foster kid, and through his trial, he's been running from foster home until he gets chosen to be a champion to a wizard, and then he gains powers that are like Superman's almost, but pretty much it's still a kid and a Superman body.
He's got lightning, yeah.
Pretty much, and it's pretty much him kind of learning that experience and doing his own thing compared to what general superheroes do. And of course,
it's told through the perspective of if a kid got superpowers.
Pretty much. And then to talk about the positives, like I said, the heart of this movie, I love the interaction between the character of Freddy, who is played by the kid from It. The one that was really afraid of germs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, his interaction with the young Billy Batson was great. I love that too. But man, the way him and Zachary Levi, when he becomes Shazam, their interaction is great, and it's actually weirdly realistic, because it's what if a kid got superpowers? In a world where superheroes are known of, oh yeah, there are superheroes. It's you would want to film that. You'd want to make maybe some money off of it. It's what kids would do. Yeah. It's not that simple, I'm a superhero, I have to be heroic and do things. No, it's what a kid would do.
Yeah, my positive would be I like the logic. I can't really go into it too much without spoilers, but I thoughts in my head like a couple times throughout the movie. I was like, well, if this happens, then this should happen, right? Like it doesn't make sense. Why hasn't this happened yet? And then it does happen later in the movie. I was like, oh, okay. So I like the logic of it. It's very lighthearted. DC, it's the most Marvel-esque. This could be a good thing or a bad thing, but Marvel-esque of the DC movies. It's lighthearted. There's a lot of comedy in it. Some of the jokes hit really hard. Some of them not so much. But I like that they're trying with the jokes. And
yeah, I don't know. I feel like the joke, like, to me, a lot of, like, pretty much every joke hit. Now, some early reviews were saying, like, oh, there's some cheesy moments. I felt like the cheese, like, it has to be a smidge cheesy. It's Shazam. And then on top of that, but the cheesy moments never went over the top. It was like, oh, haha, oh, okay, they're not going too serious. Like, they're not like, oh, full on cheesiness. No, it was like, oh, I get what you're doing. Oh, okay, cool. Like, it really flowed well with the story. And then, like I said, with the interaction between everybody, it made the story feel real.
Yeah, and then the last positive I'd say is, I really didn't know where the story was going to end. I mean, as far as, like, obviously superhero villain, fight, not that, but there's just, like, some stuff that happened at the end, and I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And I was like, that's interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah, I think
they did a pretty good job in the trailers of hiding most of the plot points.
Yeah, I think that's one good thing is, like, Shazam's not a well-known character, so
it's
like
I didn't know it. It's not like going to see a Batman or Superman movie where I know all these characters. I've seen different versions of this character.
You know exactly how it's going to end, where it's like, yes, we know, of course, this is going to be... And the action in this is pretty good. Like, yeah. It's not slow and boring. It's funny, it's entertaining, and then when we get to the action parts, they're fun, they're cool, and the CGI looks really good with it.
Yeah.
Like, the DC, like... Because, like, their characters are more godly. It's like they have a little bit more faster paced, godly, like, battles.
Yeah.
And DC has nailed that part, I think, in the way they do those battles.
Okay, negatives. First negative for me is... And the villain could have been stronger. I mean...
Yeah, I mean, he's not like, honestly, he's probably better than a lot of...
His backstory was really good.
He's probably better than some Marvel villains, honestly, like, being honest. Like, some of them, he's better than, because, like, yeah, he gets, like, we get a backstory of him, and you feel for it.
Backstory. But I'm like, as soon as he's in the present time now, it's just like, I kind of stopped caring about him.
Yeah, and he becomes a little typical villain, but the way they portray it and the way they show it, it's like, oh, villain tropes. Oh, I get it, and it just works with it. I don't know why, it just works with it.
Other those two bully characters, I was like,
they were a little over. No, I think that was okay.
Bad,
I think that will be my one negative. I think those bully kids are a little over the top.
Like, there's no way kids act like that.
Well,
I mean to a degree.
Well, one, and, like, not to get too technical with it, and without, like, really spoiling. I mean, like, well, it can't really be a spoiler, but, like, those kids drive a truck. Clearly, you see in the trailer. Like, the way they just, like, pull up and, like, they start beating up. It's like, nowadays, schools wouldn't do that. Like, they wouldn't just let these kids beat up a disabled kid. Like, this wouldn't happen. That's
unrealistic.
And those kids are, like, over the top, like, douchebag. Like, they're just horrible people. And it's just, like, that felt a little weird.
Yeah, that was my negative. I'm trying to think if there's anything else off the top of my head. I mean, other than the fact that it's not really a knock on the movie, it's just another origin story. I mean, it's just that you've seen superhero origin stories so many times at this point. It's not really that. I mean, that takes a different spin on it, but it's still the same basic plot and story of any superhero movie.
It's an origin story, but it's also, like, it is unique. It's like, we have Peter Parker, who's a kid who became a superhero, but it's like, this kid gets godly powers, and it's like, oh, what does he do with it? And especially in a modern world where he's not taking it serious, like, oh, I want to protect, and he doesn't have that Uncle Ben backstory, so it's just like, oh, what does he do?
That was a strong point too. Billy's actual backstory and his character of being a foster kid, I actually really enjoyed that way more than I thought I would.
Yeah, and one little thing that surprised me too is, like, they've been really portraying this film as like a family friendly film, like and honestly, there are some scenes and some moments where I'm like,
dark.
wow, okay, they went they went kind of gruesome with it. Like, honestly, some scenes were more gruesome than Venom had.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. But anyway, let's wrap this up. And either do you have any final thoughts you want to add, or do you want to go to the rankings?
I want to do some final thoughts. I will say, like I said, Zachary Levi is great at Shazam. He's hysterical. I think he is a good fit for the role. I think the story and the way they make you feel for the characters really nailed it. And I think DC is on a great path.
Oh, I don't know if DC's on a great path. I disagree with you there. They need to get their Batman, their Superman situated.
They need to get that situated.
Aquaman was good.
As far as where the movies are going to where they were, like, it's like, okay, we're not getting mess after mess. It's like, oh, we're getting different kind of unique, like, different type of films. Like, yes, they follow the lighthearted part, but they're, like, different characters that we haven't really seen before. Like, we don't really have a Shazam in the Marvel Universe, like a kid becoming a god. And then Aquaman, you know, we gave our thoughts on that, and you can see how that felt a little different. But it's, like I said, it's just, I think they're going, are they there yet? 100%? No, but I think what I'm saying, though, is they're going on the right path.
We'll see. I honestly depends on their Batman and Superman. But last thing I have to say about the movie, there is 2 after credit scenes, if you care, if you're that type of person that likes to sit and wait and watch. The second one, a bit of a spoiler. The mid-credit scenes is like, you know, the quote-unquote important one. The second one, they're taking the Marvel trope. It's just a joke.
Yeah, it's a jokey one. But I'd honestly say, like, you know, stay for the second one, because the second one's really funny. Mm-hmm. And then the first one, I mean, some people, I feel like, including us, we had no clue what that was. And I'm gonna look it up, but... Man, I have no clue what that was, and it was really confusing.
So yeah, stay for the after credit scene. All right, let's go into our ranking. It's been a while. Let's see if I can remember this off the top of my head. We have at the bottom, which is an F, be sort of awful. Then we have right above that as a D would be sort of bad. We have a C would be sort of okay. We have at a B would be sort of good. We have an A would be sort of spectacular, and then like an A++ is sort of perfect. That's like, you know, one of the greatest movies of all time. So, where are you going to rank this? What are you going to give this?
You know, I'm going to give it sort of spectacular. I know I enjoyed it more than you, but I just feel like I know when a movie I want to go see again. That's how I give it that ranking, because it's like walking out there, I'm like, yeah, I want to go see that again. I had fun with that.
See, I'm like, I had fun with that movie. I thought it was good. I'm giving it a B, a sort of good movie, maybe even a B+. But I'm just like, yeah, I don't need to go see that again. I enjoyed it. I'm like, it was fun. I had, you know, little to no expectation, so it was good. It wasn't bad at all. But I'm like, yeah, I saw it. I'll get it again when it comes out on Blu-ray. But I don't need to go see it in theater. I don't need to go see it in theaters again.
I definitely want to see more Shazam. Mm-hmm. I will say that for a fact.
Yep. But I think that's going to do it for us today. If you would, please hit that subscribe button that'll pop up right there, and check out one of our other reviews right here.
And before we go, we do understand we haven't been doing very many videos lately. We, of course, do not make much money off of YouTube, if none at all, pretty much. Mm-hmm. So we do have jobs, and our schedules have been kind of changing, and things have been different jobs, stuff like that. So sadly, we haven't been able to focus too much on this, but we're slowly figuring it out. And as you can see, we have a different backdrop.
Mm-hmm. We had to move locations.
We moved. I made I wanted a room where I could put all my collectibles, and that's kind of where. So you're always going to see these figures behind us. If you're a collector, you know how it is. But yeah, so we have some things in the work. We're going to try and start getting some videos out again and bring you more content.
We have a day now where we can actually shoot videos and stuff now.
Yep, so expect, of course, the One Piece reviews are going to start back up on track. I might try and do some reaction videos for myself. And, of course, we'll do movie reviews, because this year is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be a big year. Mm-hmm. Next big review, I would say, would probably be...
Hellboy? Maybe.
We might talk about that, but the big one's going to be
Endgame. Yeah.
Endgame.
But yeah, just go ahead. That'll wrap it up for us. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Check out one of our videos.
Thanks so much, and have a great day.